All right, good morning. I want to show you guys a little Black Friday email sequence we did for one of our clients last month. Now, this is for Black Friday, but honestly, you could apply this to any kind of promo you want to do. It could be just a random weekend. You could do this promo and it'd still probably work. It's very simple. It's not anything crazy. It's just three email sequence just to kind of build up some hype and then kind of have this big conversion event. And here are the results that we did for this. And we only started working with this guy very recently in this month of November. So we don't have a whole lot of time to put this together, but we still got quite a few clicks on his calendar page. His list is not crazy big. It's 4 figures, but not insane. And then we don't even have the data for the calls booked, but they were so excited because what you don't see about these numbers is all it takes. Like their offer is, I think like 8 or 6K. So all it takes is one of these people to click the calendar and pay them 8K, and they're like obviously thrilled. And so they've had way more qualified leads than they've seen in a long time. People are saying they have money on their application and getting some really good replies. So I thought I'd share with you guys kind of just what I did. I'm not perfect. This is not like some kind of wizard sequence. It's just super basic. But if you guys don't have a promotion sequence to do emails with, then here you go. So feel free to just take this and I'll show you what I did. So starting with email number 1, we sent this out on November 25th. And the entire point of this framework is basically to say something big is coming. Not the promotion, not the sale, but the game is changing. Like the environment is changing. Winter is coming, right? It's a classic copywriting principle. And the way it works is basically the game is changing for you, like the niche, etc. Nick, our client, has insane behind the scenes look into this change because of his authority and credibility. Those who don't take advantage of this change will be left behind no matter how good their music is. So he sells an offer to artists that want to grow their fan base with content. But the good news is you're still early. We're going to show you this week exactly how to get specific result they want. Look out for our email Wednesday. We'll be exposing this new strategy to the world, the same strat that got X for XYZ. The key here is don't explain the secret yet. Just make it seem like there's a big environment shift coming, and you have to kind of back this up with proof that it is coming. So that's the first email. Second email, this is actually on Black Friday. So normally I would probably want to do a little bit more, but like I said, we just brought on this client. We didn't have a lot of time, and it turned out to work really well. So I'll show you guys just the simple 3 emails. So this is on Black Friday. The rough framework is basically there's this only strategy, this new thing that works for niche to get the result they want. So this new strategy that works for artists to grow their fan base in 2026. We start by recalling the last email about the big shift. So talk about that last email. Talk about how you know that this shift is coming because of your credibility and authority. More importantly, you've seen insane results from people who have already made this shift so that they've taken advantage of this environment shift. And then you want to use logic and experience to kind of back up that claim. So just prove it logically in their head. Show proof of them seeing it. So an example that we used was ask them how they found the majority of new artists that they liked last year. Was it these low budget music videos, aka the old way, or was it through social media, someone sharing something, the new way? The new era is already here. If you don't adopt it, you're going to be left behind, no matter how good your music is, right? What do they believe? And then we just target that. But there's a reason I've dedicated my life to this game. I believe great music deserves to be heard. So here we're just explaining why he's going to let people in. I want to level the playing field for artists who don't have the industry plant people behind them. And we didn't actually use this targeted language, but it's just an idea. Let me show you the new way. And then we kind of go over the old strat versus the new strat. And then the CTA is just simply, but if you have blank to blank already set aside for the old marketing way, so we're qualifying who actually clicks these links, which is the whole point, right? I don't care about getting 200 link clicks on my emails. I care about getting the 5 or 10 link clicks of people who are actually going to pay my clients 5 figures. That's what makes them money. It's what makes me money in the long run. That's how I continue getting these retainers. So we normally charge, this is the offer. We normally charge $97 just for the strategy call, but we've made them $0 for Black Friday. So CTA to book a call. These spots fill up quick. They're limited spots because they are. If you have the budget ready to make this happen, hop in now. Cool. So that's on Black Friday. Now, on the 30th, here's what we did. So this is kind of this is for Cyber Monday, I think, or actually, I guess it would be Sunday. We basically sent out another email saying this is it. Summarize the main points from the last 2 emails. We know there's artists with great music who deserves to be heard. we just opened some more slots. We normally charge 97, but it's 0. If you're blank with blank for budget for marketing, now's your chance. X slots open. Cool. So very simple. Honestly, the first email is just painting this problem and pain, this big change is coming. Email 2 is doing that again, and then kind of explaining logically and what this change actually looks like, and kind of giving pillars of this new strat that they can get if they work with my client. And then email 3 is basically like a last call. So the results we had on this were open rates all above 30%, which I'm kind of happy with. We have had an email do almost 50, so I want to figure out kind of why that email did so well and get closer to that. And like I said, a bunch of clicks and I had some great book calls. I'm still waiting on the full data. Hopefully they said they're going to send this to me, how many calls actually booked, and hopefully we see how much revenue we made them. But honestly, they're happy, which means we get paid, so I'm not complaining. Let's go over the final emails. This is where you guys are probably going to get a ton of value from, because you could take these frameworks and use it for, honestly, pretty much any niche, especially if you're just trying to book calls for info products or something like that, or an agency. Let's go over the emails. So subject lines for the first email. Now that you know what the point of this email is, this should be pretty valuable to you. 2 subject lines. We always test 2. That way, whenever we want to reuse a subject line, let's say for a welcome sequence or an evergreen sequence, whenever people first join, so they haven't received these emails, we know which ones work better. And so we always want to test the subject lines. Something big is coming, insider tips. Once again, that's the whole point of this email. Something big is coming. Insider tips kind of makes it seem secretive, and they can only get this information from this email, so they have to click on it. This changes the game for artists. Don't get left behind. So here we have a little bit more specificity while saying like artist, so that they see that keyword, and if they're an artist, they're like, oh yeah, I need to check this out. Don't get left behind is FOMO. All right, so getting into the email, the marketing game has completely changed for artists. And I'm not talking about the cookie cutter 2020 advice, oh, TikTok's important now, or oh, you need to post some reels. I'm talking about a fundamental shift in the entire music industry. So what I'm doing here is stating the big idea, why it's important, and I'm immediately addressing like a potential false belief. And I'm creating curiosity with this. By saying what it's not, it makes them very curious for what it actually is. The same shift caused the biggest artists and labels to completely rethink how they're spending their marketing budget. So here we're just adding the big emotion. Like, it's getting exciting. This thing is big. I can tell you from working behind the scenes with major record labels, here we're throwing in some insane cred. And it actually makes this stuff believable and legitimate. Because if he's just a random bozo, it doesn't make any, like, it's not like concrete. But since he's actually working with major record labels, all of a sudden this becomes very important to his target audience. I'm watching these strategies get built and deployed in real time. I see where the money's actually going, what's get cutting from budgets, and what's get doubled down on. I can tell you with certainty what worked in 2021 is dead. What they're doing today is completely different than what they were doing 3 years ago. And here's the brutal part. Most independent artists are still following the 2021 playbook. So here we're talking about what they're currently doing that's not working. So we just said that this stuff is dead. So if they read this and they're still doing this stuff, all of a sudden they're like, frick, I have to do something. Like, all of this is basically leading to them feeling like they have to take action. And the action, the curiosity we built up goes to what? Our book a call funnel. So yeah. And also, I'm not saying I'm not wanting to attack them here. I'm saying that most artists are following this, and then they can do all the work in their head themselves by thinking, oh, wow, I'm still doing this, so that's a problem. And they wonder why their fan base isn't growing. Have a little bit of like, frowny face here, just for a little bit of like, I don't know, some personality. It's safe to say if you don't adopt this new strategy, you'll probably be left behind no matter how good your music is. Because that's the biggest objection next, is they'll say, well, my music is better than these people, and that's why it didn't work for them. But one of the beliefs that we target in our marketing message for this client is like, it doesn't matter how good your music is. You have to figure this out. Like, everyone has to know this in order to succeed and get the result that they want in this niche. But here's the good news. You're still early. Most artists don't know the shift is happening yet. They're still winging it. They're still guessing. They're still burning money. Right now, you have a window. What does this create? FOMO. We're building up that curiosity, like they have to take action. A chance to get ahead while everyone else is still confused about why their old tactics aren't working anymore, but that window won't stay open forever. Here, I'm just explaining to them very simply. In this week, I'm going to finally expose to the world exactly how the biggest artists are able to turn the same marketing budget into real fans, content that compounds, systematic approach that works month after month. So here I'm just big dream outcomes here. This is the difference between spending 8K with zero strategy and getting no fan growth and spending that same 8K strategically to build a movement that generates loyal listeners and fans for years to come. So here we're already kind of qualifying, like, we want people that have a marketing budget. These are not just for random, 100 listener Spotify people. Like, we're looking for artists in that medium range who do have money, but they've not broken into that next level. And that's where we can provide the most value. And honestly, they can pay us the most. So here's what we're going to expect this week. On Wednesday, we're sending out an email that breaks down this new strategy in full. The same playbook that major labels are using behind the scenes, and the one playbook that's separating artists who are growing from artists who are stuck. This isn't theory. This isn't here's what might work. This is what's working right now. And we're about to hand you the roadmap. Talk soon. P.S. If you're serious about building a rock-solid fan base that grows exponentially, you're going to want to read that Wednesday email. We're not holding anything back. Also, if you're an artist with a solid marketing budget and you want to get started ASAP, book a call with us here. So we created a lot of curiosity, and I thought, you know what? We should give them some sort of CTA, because some people are probably going to be like, yo, I want to get ahead. I am early. I want to get ahead early. So I thought this was a pretty sick email, and did good. Now, moving on to the big Chungus email, number 2, the best content strategy for artists in 2026. Don't get left behind. So I would say one of the things I could have done better here was the subject line. We didn't really talk about content strategy. We talked about the shift. And so I should have probably mentioned something about getting in on the shift early, or like taking advantage of this change early, instead of actually saying like the content strategy, because we haven't really talked about content yet. So that's kind of an area of improvement for me. I'm not perfect, guys, by any means. Don't get left behind. Simple. FOMO. Hey, Name. In Monday's email, I dropped hints about the massive shift happening in the artist market space right now. But today, I want to reveal everything. So here we're just starting with, this is a big, beefy, like this is the email you've been waiting for. Having worked with some of the biggest artists, labels, and managers in the industry, I see exactly what's going on. So this is his authority. This is why he knows this stuff. Most importantly, I know exactly where the biggest artists are spending their marketing budgets. I can confidently say the game has changed, and the best artists, labels, and managers are adapting fast. The old playbook isn't going to cut it. You know what I'm talking about, spending all this money on this, on this, on this. So basically, these are all the things that they're probably doing that are not getting any results. And so this is creating a lot of pain. Tough. If that's been your strategy recently, don't worry. That's why I'm writing this email. I'm going to show you how to get a much bigger ROI on the same marketing budget. And that's what's so crazy. These new artists who are growing like crazy right now aren't spending way more money than you. They're just spending it in better places. And so this is targeting that belief that they need to have more money. Because they could read this and think, oh, well, people are just spending more. Like those labels have more money and that's why it's working. We want to target that. We want all the curiosity to be around this strategy. Nothing else. Not about the money, etc. And so we're telling them, hey, they're not spending more money than you. They're spending it better. And so if you want to get ahead, you can't just go get more money. You need to know what's changing. But you're probably asking, why doesn't the old strategy work anymore? What changed? And it's all about connection. This is kind of the mechanism. This is what the change is. This is what allows our strategy to work. And so this has to sound real. You can't use like some random, crazy freaking whack, like new opportunity. It's all about, A37 viral growth formula. It's like, what? No, bro, make it seem legit. Make it real. And this is real. It's all about connecting. It's about to be 2026. Our world has been taken over by soulless, artificial, and bland content and marketing. AI has made people crave real, human connection. Have you ever wondered why you're seeing artists do more and more raw and lifestyle content? Connection. That's why. So we're using proof, like I talked about in the framework. We're using like logic and things that they have experienced to back up with this and be like, oh yeah, I see this. This makes complete sense. Now I understand. Here's the big belief. Your content in 2026 has to connect with your audience. There's no way around it. And as much as I wish that good music alone was enough to grow a fan base, we all know that isn't how it works anymore. So here we're just, once again, false belief. We're breaking it. So what do you do now? How do you create a strategy and invest your budget in a way that creates a deep connection with viewers and grows a loyal fan base? Now at this point, we could try to just like tie it up here and kind of like send them to the book a call and like use this curiosity there. But we're looking for more educated people. Like my client, they want less and less kind of, I guess, unserious goobers on their page. And they want like big artists and they want big managers. And so to get those people, we want to give them some real concrete that, hey, Nick knows what he's talking about. And so instead we decided to do kind of like a little bit of an offer deck. So there are 3 pillars to this new strategy. Let's break them down one at a time. World building. Your audience has to feel invited into your world. They want to be part of the story. We do this by creating brand archetypes with specific instructions on how to create this world. Okay, so this is very like niche dependent and offer, so I'm not gonna like read through every single thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain why we did it so that you could copy it for anything else. Notice how we say the pillar here, right? The mechanism, world building. Then we explain how this connects to the main kind of theory here, which is connection. And we don't tell them what to do. We don't tell them to like put this title on your reel or post this type of stuff. We give like the what. And so they still feel curiosity. They still don't know how to do it. And then we give them the benefit of what happens. So your audience has to feel invited. They have to feel part of the story. We do this by creating brand archetypes with how to create your world. And so we don't actually tell them how. We just tell them that we do the what. And then what does that do for them? It creates all this benefit. So loyal fans. And then we go even further to say, like, if you don't have this, here's what happens. And we do this for every single one of them. So notice how it's just selling. We're not really explaining like what to do here. We're just saying, hey, mechanism, story-based content. Your content has to have a story. Every post has to be part of something bigger. But we don't tell them what to post or the exact kind of things to do. Like, we just give them the what. Same with conversion marketing. All this, we want them to see, here's the benefit of having this strategy and making it legit. That's it. This is where the biggest marketers in the space are focusing all their attention, right? Big emotion. You should too. But now that you have the inside scoop, don't waste it. So here we're calling them to action. If you're already seeing the strategy working something well with the artists we're working with, if you're a new artist with a tight budget, I recommend learning as much as you can from my YouTube. Keep reading these emails, watching my IG content, etc. So if you're an artist with a tight budget, so basically saying if you don't have money, if you're not a serious artist, then don't CTA. So this is why I'm not so worried about total link clicks. I want to know who the frick is clicking those links, man. Do they have deep pockets? Are they our target audience? Or are they just like randos? And so here we're deterring the free people to go watch the free stuff. But if you have a solid marketing budget set aside for the old way, I have an option for you too. For Black Friday only, we're opening a few slots to work one-on-one with you and your team to develop a perfect content strategy following the 3 pillars above. If you're ready to ditch the old way and start building a fan base, book a call here. So I thought it was a pretty good email. And I mean, client liked it, and I think it's working really well. So pretty cool. Now, final email 3. And this one I actually think we might have sent this one. I don't exactly remember the date I sent this out. This one might have been Wednesdays. Maybe this was Friday. If this was Sunday, I don't remember. But the whole point here is, oh yeah, this is on Black Friday. I knew that they were going to get tons of emails for Black Friday. And people are going to be like trigger happy reading the emails. I know because I watch my wife Caitlin do it every single weekend. So what I want to do is basically give a really short, simple reminder about Wednesday's email and then CTA them quickly. So happy Black Friday name. I want to give you a quick reminder. For Black Friday only, we're opening a few extra slots to work one-on-one with you and your team to develop a custom content strategy to grow your fan base. You can book a free strategy call here. Let's make 2026 your year. The opportunity is massive. From getting millions of views on my own content, working behind the scenes from the biggest artists, and helping 100 artists grow. This is all just literally saying, hey, this thing is big. I know because of authority. I can confidently say it's never been easier, but you have to have the right strategy. That's where we come in. We take all the guesswork out. We'll build a strategic content plan across all platforms, a system that doesn't just get views, but it's built to attract loyal fans, fans who stream every release, fans who actually buy merch and tickets, fans who love you and your music, not just your content. So these are all just like straight, just benefit. Here's what you want. We can help you do that. If that sounds dope, let's make it happen. If you want to chat about what this would look like for you or an artist you manage, secure your free strategy call here while you can. Limited spots available, urgency, scarcity. Have an awesome day. Look forward to speaking with you soon. So super simple, super straight to the point. And it worked really good because we had 42 calendar page clicks on that one. So like kind of double the earlier emails. But this is only possible if you send those other emails out. So hopefully this helped you guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments or on Instagram, and I'll see you later.